All right, buddy. I'm recording.
All right. I am Will.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey.
We're still missing a comrade.
We are. Looks like he got his bicep reattached.
Looks like it
It
works.
sounds successfully. They then put it in a sling,
And
and
They told him to stay scummy for a full week.
yeah, so he's washing himself with a rag on his stick.
So he bowed out of this one, and finally so. Oh, the
Is your
stupid tag thing.
Yeah.
No, So I bought this shirt because Kohl's had I bought some stuff from Kohl's and I had some Kohl's cash, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna treat myself to a Broncos shirt.
Okay.
And the front, I think, is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, no,
It's
that looks
comfy.
great.
It's the soft kind of
Yeah,
material.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was all in, scooped it up, took it over there. I had a thing on my phone that said that, hey, you also get to do a discount of 20% off.
Oh, okay.
I was like, cool, this $40 shirt's going to cost me like $10. So I go up there, ring it in. She's like, oh, yeah, we can't do the discount. They're like, we do it for everything in the store except merch for the teams because they don't give us any cut. So this is the only way we literally break even.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that sucks. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm still getting half off that.
The rest of the stuff then, right?
Well, I didn't buy anything else. I was just spending
all
the
right.
Kohl's cash. And so I was like, all right, fine. And I'm still getting it for half price. $20, cool Broncos shirt, sounds good. Wear this shirt the first time, walk around the house, and Nikki starts messing with my shirt. And I'm like, what? She's like, your tag, it won't go in. And I'm like, what do you mean my tag won't go in?
Yeah.
She's like, you have a tag back there. I was like, what? And then I look, and yeah, they attached this weird thing on the back for whatever ungodly reason.
It's like,
that looks like a tag.
It looks like
it's sticking out.
well, does it bother you like a tag too? Like the back of your neck hits it?
It's not irritating, but it's really irritating that I know it's there.
No, it's like you're gonna dry clean it.
It's the worst design I've ever seen in my entire life.
Have you seen this on like other clothes? Is this like a new thing?
I don't know where this came from, and I never thought to check the back of the shirt to see if there's a stupid fake tag sign sewn onto it. And I mean, it is stitched on there good, so it's not just like a couple stitches, you pop it, and you go about your day.
Yeah.
There's going to be like a hole there, because there's so many stitches they put in. This is the worst design for a shirt, and they trick you because it's on the back, and they always have it folded. It wasn't even one of the ones hanging up on the hanger.
It was on the rack, okay.
And I was just like, that sucks.
I don't even see the value of it in terms of like, no, I don't see how it would help you. Like, I don't see how it would hang in a closet. It doesn't look like it's meant for a hanger. It doesn't.
I have no earthly idea.
It looks like it's purely aesthetic, but that looks like dog shit. Like, I don't
terrible.
understand. I gotta say, like, I would have it gone.
I'm tempted to
I would
anyway.
ruin the shirt.
I'm
by
going
doing
to
it.
anyway because I'm never
Yeah.
going to wear it again. I tried wearing it today to see if it would create good.
Is this the
look.
first
This is the first for the
for this shirt?
team. No, I tried my orange shirt last week.
Oh, you have two.
Well, I have a straight orange one.
Dude, they look cozy. They really do. Those actually do look like quality shirts.
It's a really comfortable shirt, and I really like the front.
We gotta fuck with it though. We gotta.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go. The team did not respond with it, so.
All right, out with it. All right, so okay, you gotta give me some post mortem here because I did watch the game, or at least I watched the second half.
Oh, you missed where we actually looked like a team?
So is my understanding because I was I put it on while I was working, and yeah, so I jumped in and I came in and I think it was. God, at the half it was
21 to 14 and a half.
Yeah, that's about where I came in. Yeah,
But they had a 21-3 lead, dominating just everything, doing it right, everything's good. And then they let them score. Kareem Jackson got kicked out for, again, eliminating a player. Well, he did it week 1, too. He knocked the bejeebus out of Jacoby Myers for the Raiders, and he was out this week, and he probably did that to another guy this week. So he got ejected. And
Well, and he's probably going to be serving more games. You know?
for the repeat offender,
Yeah.
I mean, and this one was bad. Like this one was.
I didn't see it.
This one had no mistake for it. Like he straight up 2 feet launched off the ground straight for the head. Like
Jesus.
oh yeah, he just totally and somehow the guy held on to the ball. So kudos to him.
All right, so okay, so again, and not everybody here is going to be a Broncos fan. So what I want you to do is give me a quick overview of. Give me the quick overview of the game.
Broncos dominated the first half.
Okay.
Absolutely dominated. Owned
Tell me
everything. They were doing deep strikes. Their defense was dominating. They were blocking on Washington's super front. Everything was fantastic. And then after that score, Washington just owned it. Like they were on fire. They could run. I don't know how our screen defense is the worst I've ever seen. They would blitz and all guys would come through and just be like, we all are blitzing through. And not one guy would be like, smells like a trap. Where's that running back?
All right, so help me out here. All right, because I didn't see. Again, I jumped in at the half, right? So, how did Russell Wilson look in the first half?
Like a superstar.
Okay, so when I came in, okay, and this was my observation here was, dude was running for his life in the second half.
Second half, yes.
Okay, so was it him or was it the offensive line? What fucked up?
Offensive line wasn't great. Our new $1 zillion right tackle sucks.
We've been through stuff like this before. I don't remember the years of like Brian Habib and stuff like that, but
Hey, Habib was part of the championship. No way.
he did not start out well though.
Don't talk Habib. Habib was fine. That offensive line generated a 2,000-yard running back.
Oh well, all right.
So
all right.
no, he's fine.
Okay, all right.
It was bad play calls. They quit taking shots downfield.
Right.
Like it just was totally different.
They let their foot off the gas.
And he was just terrible. He was terrible.
When I saw him, he looked like shit.
Yeah, he was no longer accurate. I don't know if it was just in his head that now he's getting pressure and he's going to freak out. They didn't call good plays to like. They didn't do a screen. Well, I think they did one and they almost got it intercepted.
Because if you're getting blitzed out the ass or they're getting penetration on the line, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was so bad. Despite it all, they got the Hail Mary.
Oh, to get it to like 32?
Yeah, within 2.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, the refs were totally cool with Cortland Sutton getting mugged in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Because he got yanked so hard, he was turned sideways from looking at the ball. And they're just like, yep, that's fine.
Let's
We're going
go
home.
here. Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have got that Hail Mary. That was luck anyway. But I was ready to see overtime. I think we were going to kind of steal it, but...
Well, I presume there was a fair amount of ranting and raving at your home.
At that play?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, at the game. I guess that's the thing. Did you take sort of like a quiet resignation and just sort of accept things as they were happening, or was it just a hair pulling, half?
It was... Here we go again. This is just the Broncos.
Okay.
Sauce. They started out good against the Raiders and then were terrible in the second half. They were outstanding against the Commanders, and then just
they'll be the at this point they're the Washington football team for me. So
and it seems like when one side goes, the whole team goes. So they just kind of feed on it. Like the defense is supposed to be good, and they were just they couldn't do anything.
Well, if you hold them to 14 points in the first half, yeah, you're good.
They held them to 3 until that one drive in the first half.
Right.
They were solid. I mean, they got some pressure on them and stuff like that, but they just were not good. And Russell was just like even on the fumble, he fumbled it, and then you see him stand up, and he's just basically being like, my knees down, and he's like right in front of the ball, and he didn't like just dive on it to see if he could cover it up, and then the Washington guy dove right in. It's
that's some Cam Newton shit.
It's like,
and you
dude,
don't want to be Cam Newton.
get the ball first,
Right?
and then if you happen to not get it, then be like, oh, it's down.
Then
Not
protest. Yeah.
Not, oh, I'm pointing that I'm down, so let's just call the play dead.
Right.
It's just, and the interception was just terrible.
So, is there anything salvage worthy on this team? I mean, obviously they've kept it close. So, is there still room for this team to turn it around? I mean, so the Chiefs won, not by much, but they still won. The Raiders lost big.
But the Chiefs won with defense.
No, I understand
which is scary.
No, I got you there. But the Chargers, they lost today, right?
They did too.
Okay, so it's not like anybody has a really commanding lead though so far in the division. Nobody's running away with it.
We're going to Miami next week.
Okay,
I'm penciling in 0-3. I'm gonna hope they can pull it off, but playing in Miami with the Heat and those guys doing track shows, yeah, we're toast.
Track shows.
Those guys just run.
Those
guys
track shows.
Those guys just run and run and run and run faster than anybody you have. So even if Pat Surtain can guard one of them, they got three other guys that are just streaking, and our number 2 cornerback ain't stopping squat. And if Kareem Jackson is suspended, we don't have safeties either. It is not looking to be a good combination. So, it is optimistic that we actually have an offense sometimes, but the fact that it can just dot is brutal. And it looks like they don't even know how to play football when they fail.
Well, I guess that's my question, Will, is do you see enough positivity on the team there where you can say that you feel comfortable that there's enough components that might make you say, hey, we can turn this thing around. We could make a...
I'm still in believe mode.
Okay.
But,
look, sometimes you can tell by week 2. Sometimes you can tell by week 1.
It's going to be hard, I think, for us to suck enough to be able to get the quarterback that I would want.
Who would you want?
One of the top 3 guys.
Oh, okay. So nobody in particular.
No, they're all better than what we got. But and Arizona's legit tanking. And there'll be other teams too that they're like, I think we can beat the Bears. So, and we got them after Miami. So
now you say
Houston.
Arizona was tanking. You're talking about game number 2 that I want to bring up here.
I don't think they were tanking that one
because it doesn't seem like they were losing that on purpose, buddy.
No, but they traded away all their players.
Okay, fair enough, but
like they did. They were not tanking. But it's awfully suspicious, but we're fielding a team. I don't know what the bottom that you could pay your players, but they traded off a decent amount of guys.
Well, they cleared a lot of money out.
And so far, actually, they've been competitive in both games. So be it.
Yes, and today's game was rather exciting.
It was kind of crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
It was basically the Washington game with the Broncos. A little bit more, but It was the same.
It was hella exciting. I'm sorry, and you know me, I don't like the Giants, so I mean,
Well, they're going to be on primetime next week.
of
Again.
course. Well, wasn't that part of the problem? Was the expectation was that there was going to be a lot more Jets action in prime time, and then things changed on the
On
first
play
drive.
4. Yeah. Well, I guess he's doing some sort of super surgery. That they're gonna do some sort of magic works that they think they got a new technique in this, and he thinks he's gonna be able to come back this season.
That'd be sweet.
So, if they're viable.
I mean, you know, Rogers did say, you know, probably the funniest thing I've seen in the season. So,
What's that?
well, because Keith Olbermann was giving him shit. He was saying like, did you see that little interview?
I did not.
Yeah. So I can't remember who it is. One of the guys from the desk. They're like, well, Keith Olbermann says that you got injured because you weren't vaxxed, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh my god.
and just without flinching, Rogers is like, yeah, go get your 5th shot, dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's Olbermann's a fucking idiot.
Well,
I
I thought he didn't have a show anymore. Or is this like his own podcast?
I don't
thing
know.
now?
It's probably some fucking, you know, piece of junk that he runs from his, you know, garage or something. You know, he's another guy with fucking Trump derangement syndrome and just like I don't know. I've read his shit. He goes after the wrong people, man. Fucking the other day when Riley Gaines took him to the fucking hoop, it's like you just close your Twitter account at that moment because you ain't coming back from that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have not paid attention to Keith Olbermann in quite some time.
No, not since he was on SportsCenter.
Yeah.
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 Then it turned out that he's like, no, I want to do this because I have opinions. Like, well, your opinions are terrible.
Now, to be fair, I haven't paid attention to SportsCenter in a long time either.
Do you even watch ESPN? I mean, that's the...
I watched some SportsCenter when the Nuggets were in the playoffs. Just because it was fun to hear them talk about it.
And the Nuggets did win the championship.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So the playoffs there were fun.
That's right, because I asked you if the Rockies were next. And before I even finished the sentence, you're like, no.
No.
Nope.
Although they did win the game that I went to yesterday.
You went to the game yesterday?
Yeah, I sent you a picture.
What are you talking about? No, you didn't.
I'm pretty sure I sent you a picture.
You sent me a weird message that I did not...
Or maybe I sent it to the wrong person. I suppose that's always possible. Oh, nope, it did not send through. Ah!
Yeah, you sent me... Yeah, you sent me a message about...
A very odd message without a picture.
And I asked you, I was like, what are you talking about? You didn't say anything.
Okay, it's sending now, so...
I don't want it now.
Now you can see it now.
You just turn the phone to me.
I just... What?
You can just turn the phone to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's still trying to load. But, well,
Right.
there you go. So I'm showing him a picture of Vinny Castilla, Larry Walker, Dante Bichette, Ellis Burks, and they were all at the stadium yesterday. And I was like, hey, they brought up the old men to give it a shot for the Rockies this
What were
year.
they, the Blake Street Bombers?
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's 30 years of Rockies. And so they brought all those guys back for celebration and all this kind of stuff. And the Rockies won.
Who'd they play?
The Giants, they actually won 3 in a row against them.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're doing good, right? I mean,
Oh, no,
they're,
they suck.
They're eliminated, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then there was a drone show. So they did stuff.
That's really cool,
so they just kind
actually,
of got to stick around for like all these cool things that they made with drones.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was pretty fancy. So Nikki just happened to choose the game she wanted to go because she actually likes the Giants since she was in
Oh,
the
San Francisco. Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And so she chose this game and she wanted to go. I was like, all right, that's cool. I haven't been in 7, 8 years.
I say, yeah. It's been
So,
a while.
yeah, so I went up there and I was just like, hey, look, it's Dante Bichette. Hey, look. Oh, there's all
Yeah,
the
no
guys.
shit, man.
Like, whoa, what's going on? And it's just like, oh, yeah, then there's a drone show. I'm like, there's a drone show? Dude. Yeah, they had to get everybody from the rock pile and the whole left field, and they brought them all down and walked them onto the field, and they got to sit in the outfield to watch the drone show because it went on.
Oh,
right behind
okay.
them.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's really
it
cool.
was crazy. Like, and the Rockies won and all this kind of stuff. And I
What
was
kind of
like,
crazy shit?
wow.
Well, you're with a girl that wants to watch baseball.
That's the only sport.
Really?
That's it.
Well, I mean, is she like a scholar of the
No,
game? Oh,
no.
okay.
But she says that of all the sports she can watch, it's baseball. I'm like, I haven't watched baseball, but yeah, I got to see the pitching clock out there, and I didn't get to see a home run.
Yeah, that's odd.
Well, no, our team sucks. Like
I haven't been paying
our
attention
team
to
leader
that.
has like 16 home runs for the year. Admittedly, they traded some of their best guys away, but actually, I don't think I saw Ryan McMahon play. I think he's got over because it was part of a doubleheader. Maybe he got the second game off.
Yeah, clearly
Or
they're
he
not
might be
even. Yeah,
hurt.
you don't know. I don't know. I haven't. Rockies broke my heart a while back, man, and I haven't been able to.
Since the Arenado thing, I said that's it.
I don't know what to say, man. If you're not going to try, then I'm not going to give you the effort. If I can see
the
that,
stadium was 2/3 full.
that's still a good show, man.
That's really good for the third worst team in baseball.
Who's worse?
The Royals and the A's, who are not going to be in Oakland anymore.
Oh, they're going to Vegas too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's it. And you filled 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way full for Saturday game with the Giants. It's like, well, the turnstiles keep turning. You
gotta
guys
help me.
just keep making money.
Okay, well, all right, you got to help me out here. So I don't remember it this way, but even in like the 80s, like at Big Mac, the Nuggets weren't putting up a team just to get a few stragglers in. I feel like they were trying to win.
Well, when the Nuggets sucked, there weren't fans.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that stadium was empty.
Yeah.
And I told Nikki about, so they had all the their guys they were bringing back and all this kind of stuff. And Chacon, the pitcher from way back when,
Yeah.
who lives out here and stuff like that. I don't know if he still does. He was from Greeley and stuff
no
like
shit.
that.
Okay.
And they asked him to come back. Maybe it wasn't Chacon. Maybe it was a different pitcher, but it was one of the pitchers. And they're like, yeah, we're doing our 30-year celebration. We'd love for it if you'd come out, hang out at the game, all this kind of stuff. We'll announce you in the field. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. And then he's just like, but they're not going to pay for your accommodations or the trip out there. It's like, what?
Why?
The heck,
That's fucking. That's
you
as low
cheap
rent as it gets.
dirt bags. Like, that is. I was like, yep, that's.
Fucking
That
comic conventions will
those
get you in those
owners.
ones, yeah.
That's how petty these guys are. Like, how cheap. And I'm just like, you guys are just stealing money from the people that just keep coming to your games. And
That's what I'm saying. It's like I know when the Nuggets weren't, fucking seat fillers, I still feel like they were still trying to win games.
they are trying. I mean, they were drafting bad players and stuff, which the Rockies do now too. But
No, well, trying and failing is something different. I mean, that's that's the thing that I can say here is yeah, suppose that you have a strategy that you're trying and it doesn't work out. All right, I got it. So when would you say like the first, signs of turnaround would be? Like would that have been the Mutombo era?
Yeah, and then it crashed again,
Yeah,
and
it
then it
crashed
was
again.
mellow.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean that's the thing is it's not as though they would just pick a player, run him into the dirt. They would keep trying to support.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think every team tries, but they tried. Some tried on the cheap, and just hope that some magic happens. But like the weird thing is the Rockies will spend money on players. It's just really dumb decisions. Like Chris Bryant was a horribly dumb decision. Like they gave him $130 million for like 5 years, and he's injured all the time, and there wasn't anybody else offering him money. Like the highest other offer was 80 mil. So you just overbid it by 50?
Sorry, man. That reeks of like money laundering.
It makes no sense. It's like your team sucks. Why are you going out to spend $130 million on a player and you have nobody else left on your team?
I'm sorry. That's like mine collector art. That's
It makes no sense.
That's not legit.
Other than they can just be like, well, we're spending money. Look.
That's what I'm saying.
You bought one guy. Your team sucks. Why? Like, there's no logic to it. It's like, why do you want to add this guy?
That's what I'm telling you,
For
Will.
5 years. Like, you're like, all right, well, we're going to spend some money this year. Let's give him $30 million this year, and then we'll see what happens next year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, that's the kind of creative accounting that goes into this kind of stuff. I mean, like, I feel like they probably would have been... It would have been worth less for them to basically make a better investment, right? So it's the same thing where... Why do movie studios... This is something that places are catching flack for, is why are they making movies that they're not releasing?
I don't know.
Well,
I didn't know that was going on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, or the other thing that they do here is what they're now calling the Disney Plus dump, right? So you spend all this money on this thing, and then you'll dump it somewhere, and basically you're moving the books around. And it's something like that where if you can do that and basically not release it and count it as a loss, right? Then that's something that on your.
Gotcha.
And so when you're taking again. Anybody in good conscience, like you said, is if the outstanding offer is 80 million, right? Then the circumstance where you say, all right, well then the max that you pay is 81, 80.1, 80,
maybe 85 because he didn't really want to come here, and it's
absolutely.
like that extra 5, but extra 50.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what reeks of creative accounting.
Paying half of Nolan Arenado's salary to leave?
There you go. That's a loss. You mark that off as a loss.
It is insanity.
So I would imagine that probably has... Because I know that's not the only enterprise those people are tied into.
Oh.
So they probably take all of their books. They say, like, all right, this loss plus this was blah, 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 blah. This is going to give me, some business over here. Because, look... If they have that kind of money, then you know that they could be fielding a better team. Right?
Well, you hire somebody that legitimately knows what they're doing, and you have a better team. Or at least it looks like something. This is a disaster. Like, it is so ugly.
It's pathetic. It's to the I would say, like... It's so ugly to the point that basically, like, when the time comes around and, like, we want to build a new stadium, say, all right, well, then it's your own money you're paying with. You don't let the city chip in on that so that you're basically forcing them to leave. And I would at this point, too. Like, well, and frankly, that would be, like, my argument at the negotiating table. I'm like, I'm not going to push for the city to pay for your shit if this is the team that you put up.
I don't know when they'd actually need a new stadium. It's still
that's the problem.
Still magnificent,
right?
I mean, it was a good ballpark, like.
And you can't act like people weren't hyped to have the Rockies here when we got them.
Oh, if you put any kind of a winner out there, it'll be bonkers.
Any kind of effort, just effort, man. People.
Or just entertaining. Go get just bats that are going to bash it around. Like, we didn't win anything with the Blake Street Bombers, but
Okay,
I
come on.
wanted to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
every game. Like, even if they were down 10 runs, you're like, it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
I'll watch this till the end. But now it's like, dude, yeah, like they were. I would watch the lineup and it's like 212, 6 home runs, 243, 12 home runs, 238. Like, I'm like, dude, your lineup sucks.
Oh, it's garbage. Yeah,
This is just terrible.
that is like, those are the base players that you get in baseball stars
Oh, it was bad.
before
Like,
putting a dime into them.
and then
Yeah.
their number 9 hitter is batting 193. So I got to teach Nikki about the Mendoza line.
Yeah, he should be gone. Well, is he the catcher?
No, he's their center fielder. So on the scoreboard it said he has more runs saved than like anybody else in the outfield. I'm like, oh, dude, is this okay? All right, he's a good outfield. Oh man, I'm like, you're playing in Coors Field, dude. It should be impossible to bat 193 in Coors Field. Like,
That's ridiculous.
oh, they're
So what I said, like, yeah, if I were negotiating, if I were the city, I was like, look, man, if you don't put up, this is what we're gonna do. I would threaten to shut the stadium down.
they're never gonna do it. People love it still, as much as they're upset about it. Well, they have to not go.
Well, all right, so the other thing is you do have the phenomenon sometime of, yes, they sell tickets because people like to see the teams that play them.
Nope.
That was like when, again, going back to the Big Mac days with the Nuggets, that's when I knew people would go to see basketball games.
The Bulls.
Uh-huh.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Those were the
they get-
games they'd sell.
Yeah, they get everybody out here wanting to see the Dodgers and Padres and maybe not the Padres so much, but Giants. And Cubs and all those. Yeah.
Cubs games were huge.
St.
Yankees
Louis.
come by.
So, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I bet they don't get that attendance that the Pirates come out, but
I don't think the Pirates get that attendance and the Pirates come out.
yeah.
I don't know how much love those guys get in Pittsburgh, to tell you the truth.
I think they.
I would
Right.
imagine they get the same kind of love as they do in Detroit. I would imagine that, any of those Rust Belt cities, and this was something that I was studying the other day, was you'd be surprised about how much the not just sports attendance, but population of those cities has fallen off a cliff in the past 10 years. Right?
Yeah.
They've talked about this because they're talking about, like, support for the teams, but this was a roundabout way to say, like, what happened to these places? Well, they're not. Dude, we have a bigger population than some of those places now,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And we have no professional teams. This is the funny thing, is like, if you go to Oklahoma City and you've been there, right?
They're getting a new stadium.
Right. We just happen to be 60 miles away from.
The biggest city in Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
In any other state, we're a
Oh, yeah.
form team, city.
2 to 4. Yeah.
At least one,
For sure.
right?
But yeah, we're not even going to be consideration.
Uh-uh.
No.
Because that would be wacky. That would be... Obviously, I'm not saying that we should have a football team, because that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the idea of having, like, a competing, like, hockey team here. But that
You know what?
you'd
No.
be cannibalizing...
Yeah, I don't think that works. Not for this close and how few. It'd be one thing if we were surrounded by other cities and things like that.
Well, because we'd have to pull from south.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's not.
Right.
They're-
So
they're-
what we'd have to do is we'd have to take one of theirs.
yeah, and that's not going to happen.
No, that they're there for a reason.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
honestly don't think I'd want one of those teams to leave there. Like, they're all pretty good where they are.
I don't know. there's part of me that says like, yes, I'd love to have the Avalanche in my backyard, and clearly I would go to more games. But that being said,
They are where they are pretty good,
yes,
and everything
yes.
else, yeah. So, and then I mean, I think we don't deserve the Rockies just because we named our team the Vibe. Like, if you choose to do that, you kind of scratch yourself off the list.
Oh, come on, man! This is the same thing. The Denver Zephyrs. I mean, it's there's a history of
bad names.
Yeah.
You know what? I did like the word Zephyr. I don't think I would want
Everybody,
my team named it, but
I like that word Zephyr too. But it's got a very 1880s kind of feel to it. And the other loser teams we got the Mammoth,
that's fine for lacrosse. That's actually I wouldn't mind that for
a real team.
Yeah.
No, man, that
is pretty unique.
That's a WNBA name.
No way. I'm totally down with Mammoth or some other dinosaur thing. Like, I mean, I guess they already have the Raptors, but yeah, I'm totally down with. I mean, Mammoth is pretty cool.
Well, what? Okay, so obviously the Raptors and basically any form of like saber-tooth cats or something like that.
Or predators.
Yeah, those have been used. But what else are you going to use from the
prehistoric?
Yeah. There's no Triceratops. There's no.
We have Dinger.
I like Dinger. It's funny. I like Dinger. That's pretty cool. That's cute.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other like that I would like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Raptor is really good.
Raptor's a good name out of that.
They make all of them so long in names that it's kind of hard to isolate.
No Ankylosaurus. There's no pterodactyl. Yeah.
Yeah, Mammoth just has a good ring. All the dinosaurs have pretty long.
There's no other like Greek family kind of names.
I mean, like even T-Rex just doesn't sound.
No, that's the name of a highway. That's the name of yeah.
So it just doesn't work. I mean, pterodons. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't.
Megalodon. That'd be kind of cool.
It's too many syllables.
Yeah, it's getting up there. And then you'd start calling them Megs. Meg.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to give some thought. I can't think of any right offhand that don't have monster
It doesn't work.
names.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. I mean, it's anything from like those kind of Greek roots. They're too long. Like that's why you don't have any. There's no Parthenon. There's no.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to be like Stompy and just have like or come up with some sort of nickname for it and just call it that, and then have the logo be the dinosaur.
But the problem is that that's something where you don't jump into that; it evolves over time, right?
Maybe
so if you come in there as like the let's presume
like predators, they didn't go saber-tooth tiger; they just called it predators, and then just logoed it up.
Logos, yeah.
So yeah, you could probably do something like that.
No, but yeah, that's basically it. Is the other thing is that yes, so many of the dinosaur names already have an S at the end. So basically pluralizing that, Tyrannosaurus, especially a Brontosaurus, etc., that kind of thing. You're not going to be the Brontosauruses, right?
Well, you don't do that with Avalanche.
Well, because an avalanche is a singular.
Yeah, so you treat it the same way.
Well, then you're naming it after one dinosaur.
Oh.
Right, so if you are the Denver, you're the Denver Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
You're just one creature.
Or you're just calling them plural.
Well, that's Stegosauruses.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
But if you were to... So if
There's 8 Stegosaur out there. No, I think you make it...
No,
you drop
Stegosauruses.
No. I think you drop...
No.
There's 8 Triceratops. No, you don't...
Triceratopses.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No, you definitely
No,
do
it
not.
is SES, yes.
No.
No, because the name of the individual unit is the Triceratops. It is not Triceratop.
Nobody would say, I see 3 Triceratopses out there.
That's how you would say it. That is exactly how you would say it.
No. There's 3 Triceratops out there because it's already got the S. You're already figuring it.
No, what you're doing is you're trying to do that with like Old West, like counting.
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Yes, you are, because like what you're doing is like you're taking a multiple thing, like so. So there's I've got 3-headed bear out there, right? Instead of saying I've got 3 bears, right?
But bears doesn't already end in S.
Right.
So you can say 3 bears.
But if it ends in S, you have to add the ES.
Nah, you can just say
It's
I see
bearses.
I see 3 Triceratops out there.
Triceratopses, yes.
No, no, you don't need to do that.
Stegosauruses.
You definitely don't say that.
Absolutely you
No,
do.
that sounds terrible.
Ankylosauruses. Yes.
No, I think you would just drop it. I see 3 Ankylosaur out there. That sounds better.
Look, I get what you're saying.
That sounds way better.
I'm not saying that it doesn't sound better.
Well, that's what I'm rolling with.
No, okay, so Will, I'll ask you this: like, even though they say this is the case, like, so if you say I see 3 octopuses out there,
Say 3 octopi.
but that's actually not correct.
Yeah, it is. That's how you pluralize it.
Nope,
I've heard it.
that's incorrect. I
And
looked it up. Yeah,
that's fine. We're gonna
it's
go with
incorrect.
sometimes being wrong is right.
So, like in this case, if that were a thing and you applied it, so that you would say Stegosauri,
That would be cool.
I'd be fine with it. Unfortunately, it's not correct.
They could name a team that.
Tyrannosauri.
No, that one doesn't work as good. Like it doesn't have the right ring. Stegosauri?
But pterodactyls works.
Yeah, it doesn't end in S.
No, that's what I'm saying. That because it doesn't end in S.
Oh.
You could
okay.
be the pterodactyls. That's why they have raptors. And you know what? That actually works great because that's not from a Greek root. It's from a
movie.
Well, no, it's not from the fucking dinosaur predated the goddamn movie. No, it's because that's the from the bird of prey thing. It's the.
I don't know where they came up with the name of it.
But no. Raptor is not from Greek.
But they named it Velociraptor.
Yeah.
So the Greek just didn't name it. Some guy found it.
They don't all have like full Greek names. It's like because mammoth is not Greek.
Well, that's a mammal. They didn't name any of the mammals that way.
You're telling me there are no Greek mammals?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know enough of them.
This is the dumbest argument.
They call it like giant sloth. Like they just like cause they were close enough to our animals that they just said like big elephant. Nah, let's go mammoth.
Well, I can't tell you the root of the word mammoth, but it doesn't feel Greek to me.
I have no earthly
might.
idea. I've never watched for the origins of any of these.
I mean, I can guess. I can guess at the root mam. I mean, this. It feels Roman. It feels Latin.
Feels like some guy just sat in the garage, just found it, and was like,
No,
"This is-
and yeah, this is
my last name is Mammoth, so we're gonna call it Mammoth."
Yeah, sauropods, these kind of things. Yes, so they do still have. They still have.
All right,
Some Greek in
sauropods, and then whatever they would call the meat eaters. I don't know if they have a cool term like that, like sauropods.
They do, don't they?
That's
Yeah.
not
There's some-
impressive, but I'm pretty sure they have some sort of classification, not just carnivores, but. I mean, I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been a team that's just called themselves the carnivores.
That actually makes more sense. That's more.
They're never. I don't think we're ever going to get a team called the carnivores.
I mean, that's good though.
It is good, but then I just don't see that ever happening.
Nah, because people are fucking pussies about this kind of stuff. It's
You're going to offend people, and it's just.
I don't mind that though. I think that's a pretty decent name. I think
It's just never going to fly.
I'm trying to think of the city where that would work. So obviously, like Albuquerque, no, but like
Like the biggest meat eating city in the U.S., like Dallas.
it would be Houston. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the Houston Cardinals.
We don't even grow plants around here.
That's the problem. Yeah, it's like Houston. You'd have to name it after like the dominant like creature there, and that's the highway. So yeah, it's like the Houston Highway. That's
Yeah, I mean the rest of it, they're just too. They're either into oil or themselves.
See, that again, Houston Oilers, that worked.
Well, yeah. I mean, back when oil actually shot out of the ground. Yeah, that doesn't.
Come on, man.
It did happen.
Well, yeah, but not when they made that helmet in like the mid '60s.
It might have still been doing it back then.
You think so?
Yeah. They might have still had reserves where it was coming out like that. Because they definitely didn't have fracking yet. So that was not a process. So yeah, it was how you could just tap it and it would come out. I mean, not to the extent that like the Saudis and stuff have, where they can like stick a pencil in the ground and it comes out.
I'd say like how close to the surface would that shit have been to get it to like squirt out like that? Or basically under pressure, I should say.
Yeah. So yeah, it would be under pressure. So once you keep tapping it, then it doesn't come out as easy. I heard, or I read a thing that potentially the largest lithium mine could be in America.
Yeah. That volcano?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won't that change?
Well, that's...
Does China just die then?
You know, this was the other thing, was that the thing they talk about with the rare earth metals, they're not just exclusively in China. In fact, it turns out that there's a lot more here.
We just hadn't been looking for them really before.
Well, you don't want to... I mean, the tricky thing is that you don't want to mine for them. It sucks. Like, the process is fucking garbage. So, like, I guess... if you were to turn it around and say, like, yes, if I could get somebody else to risk their lives doing this, because I guess it's, like, very toxic, but we have it. And I guess the only thing to say would be, like, so you remember, I remember guys telling me stories about, some guys were drilling in California.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And they would talk about the processes that were different in California versus, right? So if you just basically take like a United States approach on this and say like, yeah, we have this here, we can get it. We just have to be willing to wear suits. We have to be willing to spend a little extra to get it.
Gotcha. Did you ever see some of their wall plots?
No.
Dude, they...
like, why do you mention that?
I don't know if when you were in North Dakota, how many wells were there. Like, when I was in North Dakota, they would just be like, you just drill, and you try and stay within, like, 250 feet of the line. Like, you could swerve around and all this kind of stuff.
Basically, it's just like, that's fine, just here's the hard line, don't hit it.
Yeah. And you're just wallowing around all over the place.
Yeah.
California, the wells are, like, you're drilling your line down, and your curve is, like, literally, like, zigzagging through wells to pop through a spot so that you can have this narrow window that you have to stay under, but in between, like, because they're gonna then put another one, and like your curve is not just a curve; it is seriously like a loop through, because you're going over a well, under a well, all the way through this.
This is okay. So this is where they talk about the different kinds of letters of curves, right? Where they would say like, because what do they call it? Like a J curve or something like that, or an S or something like that. And then they mentioned there were other ones that
it's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like one of those straws. It looks like one of those. Yeah.
And when you see, like, if you look at the DD's computer and they pull it up, like, some of ours have, like, a lot of wells there. And, I mean, it is literally, like, just lines everywhere. And you are just seriously, like, following dead on.
Wait, I don't get it. So, how did that happen? So, California got fucking... like drilled crazy before back in the day?
Well, it was like North Dakota at first.
Okay.
Drill, go, wherever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, we got to get more. And then you start putting in more. And then they're like, okay, we don't need as much clearance between wells. Oh, there's another level below. We can now drill below and dip down. Oh, we got this part here that we can now frack. And so they're just like, it is just every which where.
But so those reserves had to have been like really like plentiful then,
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I would say,
I mean, if you're hitting a different formation too, so if they find that you can actually now frack and produce the lower shale, then you can now, but you have to still get in there to that point and get in, not and avoid the people that dip below and up and all this kind of stuff like they did back then when, because like when we were in North Dakota, I was like, shouldn't we be staying online? Like, aren't we going to be putting in more wells? And they're like, not my problem. We drill. I'm like, Wookie, you got it.
well, I don't know what to tell you because, like, I feel like we're about to hit that again because, like, gas is so expensive right now. It's actually the highest that it's been.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, and I'm pretty confident that there's going to be a regime change in about a year.
I have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, all right. So before I even tap into anything like this, William, I gotta ask you about this toilet thing. So I watched this fucking thing that you told.
Oh, the skibbities.
Okay, so I watched about 5 episodes of this.
Oh, you gotta get way past 5.
No, wait. Okay, so no. All right, you gotta. What did you think I would enjoy about this?
No, the first ones are all terrible. Like, and they're like really short. Like, it just started out as something, and then it's grown into much more. It's like about 15 in, then it starts actually developing into the war between, like, cameramen and skippity toilets. The first few are just...
What is
going on?
That's the thing. Do people just like the song? This is just basically like T-Mod stuff.
Barely even in it anymore. It was just it's like just to watch the evolution of it like is pretty impressive.
Okay, well I got 5 episodes in and I came to the conclusion that you are retarded.
Yes, those first
or you're
ones,
fucking with me because I'm like, why would he want me to watch this?
by the time my kids got me to watch one, it was probably like 20 something. And so I was already watching some of the war stuff like that and things like that was going on. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out with you guys. And then they had me watch it from the beginning. And I was just like, wait, what? There's just a head literally singing in a toilet? There's 2 heads talking in a toilet? There's a head in a toilet walking around in a restaurant? What is going on? And then, but it does transform into some pretty kind of cool, epic stuff. Like, for what he makes in every 3-4 days, like, it's pretty impressive. But yes,
I want to trust you, William, but this
it won't take you long to plow through it.
No, man, this has
and you don't even need sound. You can literally watch this while you work.
no. It's fine. Actually, I like watching things while I work.
Yeah,
I can have the sound on. It's okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, just plow through it. It's cool.
I want to. Okay, the what I've been presented with thus far is it's pretty clear. It's like you're fucking with me. This is and I've done this before. I've done this before to people. I've told people to go see bad movies, knowing full well that it's terrible.
The first bit of it is dumb, 100%. I don't know how it took Storm, but once you start seeing the cameramen and stuff, and then watch the evolution back and forth, it gets much better.
I don't necessarily believe you. I will.
It can't hurt you to give it a shot.
See, that's what you say.
This
is a utterly pointless rabbit hole that I feel like you're about to throw me under.
I'm not throwing you in a rabbit hole. You either find it entertaining or you don't. I look forward to each one that comes out now. It's
okay.
Really entertaining. And the fact that this guy could come up with this, like, I honestly don't know how long it takes to build one of these things. Like, with the programs they have nowadays, like, once you've already generated the world, like, because he switches where this takes place in the world and all this kind of stuff. So he's generating backgrounds, doing all this kind of stuff, and then the characters do. He's coming out with one every 3 to 4 days. Like, I'm like, it gets way more in depth than what you're seeing in that.
This is what I'm saying here. Is like this is all Gary's Mod bullshit.
Gary's Mod is.
Gary's Mod used to be basically like the. This was like the free playground for like Half-Life 2, right? The Source engine, right? So this is where people would make movies and things like this with the models and stuff like that in there.
I think
right?
this guy was doing that back then.
Okay, well that explains it because this is like,
and he gives credit to like some of the people that were around back then. Like,
this is what I'm talking about. Is yes, this is bullshit that I've seen before. Will this
maybe
is all
you've
like,
seen it? This is cool to me. Like,
okay,
I'm totally impressed.
You know what? And that's fine. All right, because I'll admit that I used to watch some of this stuff and like, all right, this is enjoyable. So if it's just that this is your first turn in this,
could be
okay. Because everybody starts somewhere. Everybody, like, I think I remember, this must have been Pat that I was blabbing about with. There was that Bruce Willis movie, where it's like the Chicago mob, and he's working for one mob, and he's working for the other mob. I think it's Last Man Standing.
Oh, wait.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, here's the thing. That's it's a complete remake of a Clint Eastwood movie. Right? But if you didn't see that movie, right?
See it, yeah.
You're like, oh, well, this is cool.
A very cool original idea.
Right? Or even if it's done well, you still know it's like, okay, well, this is a throwback to this, right? Because I remember, Dad, when he saw it, was like, well, I know this movie. Right? But, in that particular case, it's like, especially if it's your first time, right? Oh, well, this is completely cool, right? So when I saw this and this, these first, like I said, these first 5 episodes, I'm like, this is all just retarded Gmod stuff that I used to see back in the day. Well, I
think the first one takes like, what, 5 seconds?
It's,
10, 20 seconds, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, he gets way more in depth the more it goes on.
And I watched that one about 5 times. I was like, what am I missing?
No. The first ones are junk. 100%. 100% agree. But yeah, once you start seeing the cameraman, then the plot is actually going.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. The initial episodes were not promising.
You're right. It's about the evolution of things.
This is one of those moments where like a person makes a recommendation, like you have to watch the whole season to like it. And I always struggle with that kind of shit.
You're right. That was on me. I probably should have said you could start at like episode 10.
Well, this is the same thing that I'm a huge proponent of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but I openly say you can skip the first 2 seasons and you won't miss anything.
That's what I should have given the disclaimer of. Is, yeah, you can miss the first... depending on how much of the history you want to know, yeah, you can miss the first 10, 15. And then jump in and then... Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure I came in at like 30 or 40.
Jesus Christ, man.
Because that's when the kids finally got me to actually start dedicating watching. And then they had me watch the old stuff. And some of it's okay, but yeah, it starts building up more and more. And then by probably like episode 35, like it starts getting pretty epic and things like that. So
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens, William.
All right. Well, thank you for giving it a shot. Even if I led you astray on those first ones, because yeah, I forgot how terrible, how absolutely pointless the first ones are.
Okay, well, it's
literally a head in a toilet singing on a wall.
You have to
the song.
You have to take my perspective of because when you look at it, it says there's like 500 episodes or some fucking nonsense or whatever. It's a lot.
61.
Something like that. All right, there's a ton, but you're like, I have no idea. But when I sit through like 5 of those and I say, I have to go through how many of these?
But those are so short, like it takes no time. So the later ones are like a minute and a half kind of thing.
The compilation I saw was like an hour and something long, and that's
everything.
Yeah,
that's probably because there's 60 something, 62.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because yeah, they've been a minute and a half to 2 minutes. Well, maybe not. I don't think they're at 2 minutes yet. Um, but yeah, they're pretty good.
Okay. Okay.
So if you want to give it a shot and keep going through, you're good.
I'll see. I do have other things to watch while I work, man. It's fine.
So what's something you've watched recently?
I've actually been watching like some tournament videos and
Yeah, you can totally watch one of those.
well, because those I have no problems like popping in and out while I'm working.
You're right. This will consume your attention.
Well, should know what's going on, yeah. And yeah, I'm watching a little bit of older Star Trek, that kind of stuff, because I've seen it.
Yeah,
It
you can
just plays in
totally
the
watch
background.
this over that.
No, but that's good. Like that's like super good. And again, I know it, so I don't.
So
I mean, technically, William, I am proofreading, so I mean,
all right. So I had a question earlier. Has there been like an Exorcist movie that they don't possess children?
yeah.
Which one?
The third one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I watched an Exorcist movie with Russell Crowe. And I'm like, this
Wait
is
a minute.
like
Hold on.
every
Oh, okay.
single-
Wait. What was it called?
The Pope's Exorcist?
Okay, so I'm just talking about the actual like
The series?
yes.
Okay.
I don't know if there's I don't fuck with those other dumb movies.
Because there was also a commercial on today for the newest Exorcist movie, which has 2 kids that are possessed or something. And I'm like, God, is it kids every single time?
Well, you gotta remember the original story upon which this is all based was it actually was a kid. It was a boy. It was not a girl, right? But yeah, the original it was a kid, and it was a young boy, right? So that's where this all like kind of comes from. And again, they took some liberties with it, but it's not that far off from what the original source material was of the quote unquote true accounting of what happened with this.
Okay. Well, this one I get. The Pope's Exorcist, I guess, was based on a true story, too.
Are you sure?
It says it is. I don't know. I don't know how much liberties they take with these things.
Well, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is supposed to be based on a true story, which is the story of Ed Gein, and I'm sure you've come across him in
Who?
Ed Gein.
I don't know.
Ed Gein was look his claim to fame. Yeah, he's basically he's in the psychopath circles, but ultimately what he was he was a grave robber,
Okay.
right? And he was the one that was basically like making furniture out of like cadavers and stuff like that. That's why when they say Psycho and Texas Chainsaw and Silence of the Lambs, all these things they all say are historically based, but they're all based off of Ed Gein.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
But those stories are
so
not
vastly different.
yeah, they're like, wow, man, no, there's no House of Horrors here. There's no shit like this. This dude was a grave robber, I believe, necrophiliac too. So I mean, you know,
All right. Yeah, so I don't. The guy existed, I guess, because it said the guy stayed with the church till 2016 or whatever.
all right, fair enough.
So it was, but I was just like, I just can't do the Exorcist movies. It's like literally the same thing every time.
Well, do you find it boring, or do you just find that like the story is like that kind of thing is not compelling? What is it that?
Well, because they're all like the same. Like the kid gets possessed, things get tossed around, moved around, freaky little stuff, all those kind of thing, and then the priests all have to say things and chant stuff, and then the demon goes.
See, that's the problem. Is yeah, you've got 2 movies as far as I'm concerned that works well in.
Like the original, and then maybe you could do one more, or
And the third one, not the second one. The second one's a pile of shit.
oh,
And that had nothing to do with the original creators. That was basically the studio, like, we didn't think this was gonna take off this way, so they just sort of like pumped it out, and it's fucking dumb. It is such a waste of time. Third movie, actually a pretty decent twist on it, but
But like with Possession, like if they did something like Fallen, like that was super cool. I don't know if you remember that.
oh my god, isn't that movie like 25 years old?
Probably. Yeah, with Denzel
What
Washington.
was the plot of that?
The guy would he could possess anybody that he could touch. And so he would possess people and, make them do crazy things, kill people. And so Denzel Washington was a cop trying to track him down and all this thing. And so they kind of have a battle, and Denzel Washington goes to a place where there's no other people so that the guy would possess, because the guy wanted to possess him. And then so he had smoked like a poisonous thing, so he'd think he won by killing him off because there was not going to be any other people.
That sounds kind of familiar. I'm not gonna lie, it's not ringing a bell.
Oh, I
Like,
loved that one.
It sounds familiar. It just like I can't place it.
Huh. All right. Well, that one's one of my favorites.
Yeah, but you didn't find that scary, did you?
Scary? No, I don't find too many things scary because they're not real.
No, but I guess that's the thing so the difference would be like scary versus unsettling. Like things that actually sit with you afterwards and just like conceptually kind of bother you later on. Things that bring up, ideas of human nature or things that like I said, sit with you in a bad way.
Yeah, there aren't many things that do that to me. Like, I just find
Anything?
not really. Because it can be something unsettling and all that, and I'll be like, oh, that's kind of interesting, cool. And I'll take it in and all that kind of stuff, but in the end, it's like, yeah, it's still a movie.
And I guess that's your detachment, right? Is okay.
Like, I'll get real into it during the movie, but once the movie's done, then it's over.
I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit different from you. Yeah, I the shit sits with me a lot harder than.
Yeah, literally, once it's done, I'm like, oh, cool. That was fascinating. That was cool to see.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I get super invested in shit. I do. Like when I'm watching it, I like I'm 100% there, and if it's I have said this before. I mean, this is why I'm so critical on movies. Is just because if I'm there and you're doing a good job, okay, that's fine. If you're not and you're just wasting my time, then I get upset.
Yeah, as long as they give me a good ride, I'm pretty cool with things.
Yeah, good ride is very subjective. Is very very subjective.
Fair enough.
People. What do you define as a good ride?
Something that took me out of my universe for a little bit that felt cool enough that I either feel jacked up or ready, more excited, or went down an intellectual journey or learned something really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm involved in it in such a way, then yeah.
And that's again, that's the kind of thing that yes, I appreciate. If you're going down that route, then yeah, I'm a happy camper. Right? Especially if you put in the effort and made it fun or made it interesting or made it hard for me to actually escape. Right? Once I get, drawn into what you're doing, right? I don't like to leave.
Yeah. So yeah, when movies do stuff so bad, like Wonder Woman movie, like, and you're just like, come on, this is like when you have to make sounds because you're so disgusted with what you're seeing, not because it was supposed to be disgusting, but because it's so bad, you're just like, then yeah.
Oh, you mean just like groaning?
Yeah.
Like,
You're like,
yeah.
oh no, come on.
And look, I also understand that there are, even in movies that I like, right? I'll understand that sometimes there are groan-worthy moments where
Yeah, true.
it happens. It happens. And, if you're doing such an overwhelmingly, good job, then, obviously I'm going to cut you some latitude. I know in my theater of Avengers Endgame, when that incident happened,
The girls.
the audience
Oh
audibly
yeah.
like, oh.
Yes.
Now, there are people online that fucking lied and said, like, their audience was cheering. I don't believe you. I don't
They
believe you for a
cheered
second.
when Cap got the hammer.
Yes,
That was a
people
literal-
cheered. Yes.
Stand up cheer moment.
Nobody cheered. No audience on this fucking planet cheered at that stupid, shitty girl power moment in that movie.
I did sit behind some probably high schoolers, 3 high school boys, and I overheard one of them say, "Oh, I think I'm getting a hard on."
At that?
At that. And I was just like, "Oh my god."
Well, high schoolers, so, but
Yeah.
but nobody was kind of like, yeah, girls, that's awesome.
Yeah, this makes sense.
It's so full of shit. Did you? Okay, now this was fascinating to me. This actually confirms a lot of things that I had suspected for some time here. Did you read about the Rotten Tomatoes controversy?
No.
Okay, this goes beyond controversy. This actually confirms basically everything that I thought was so. Okay. What is the problem with Rotten Tomatoes as a site? If on a statistical level, like if I have you apply your math brain to it, what is the problem with that site?
Can't you multiple vote?
It's not the multiple vote part.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay, well, it's an aggregate site, right?
Okay.
So it's based off of, instead of saying that one person says this and this is your rating, right? In order to say basically something is fresh or not, right? What they're going to do is they're going to take this many amount of people, right? And they're going to base it on basically a binary system, plus minus, right? Or 0, 1, however you want to take it. Either they say it's has enough positive features to say that it's good, or it has enough negative features to say that it's bad, right? This is the thing, is I always had to explain this to people. It's like, it's not that people are all saying it's 90%. It's that this many reviewers said it's positive, right? Now, that's basically the way they take it, is basically like 65% and up, right?
Okay.
Now, the thing is, there's a lot of reviewers on there, okay? And not all of these, I mean, there's only one person that works for like the Chicago Sun-Times, right?
Okay.
There's only so many people that work for the papers. There's only so many like accredited real critics out there. The rest of them are, fucking bloggers and stuff like this, right? So what they discovered about 2 weeks ago was that there's a firm out there, right? And they were basically paying the low end, because the low end costs as much, it has as much rating as the high end, right? You can either bribe somebody at the top, right? That costs money.
Oh, right.
Or you can go to the people that just have a little vote, right? And what they were doing was, on behalf of movie studios, right? They would go out there and bribe a chunk of critics for like $50. They toss them like $50 and say, hey, yeah, just make it positive. Say what you want, but just say it's positive. And say you'd recommend it, right? So these guys have been artificially moving the needle. So like when I would joke about it, and you and I would joke about the movies with great discrepancies between the audience and the critics,
Yes.
right? Where I used to joke about like the multiplier effect, where it's like woman, black, gay, we're talking about an extra like 10% on each one. Like,
Yeah.
so basically there was evidence that basically the needle has been being moved for quite some time.
Gotcha. And they actually found it now?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because, yeah, it's just that's the firm's job. They're like, well, we're here to
boost these scores so that you have a higher... Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because that's a marketing tool. Because what they found out was, so they said, so what? They're like, all right. So the research said that 33%, basically a third of people, will check Rotten Tomatoes before going to see the movies, right?
Okay.
Now, here's the thing is, they said, like, well, so what? It's like, so 2/3 of the people are going to make their decision without it. But that's a third of the people that are influenced by it.
That's a lot of people.
And that's not to say that 2/3 of people were going to see your movie. It's that they were going to see it or not see it based off of any kind of outside criticism.
Right.
But of the people that checked, right?
That's a decent amount.
You have a lot of people kicking the ball on the green.
Okay. I mean, I'm totally not surprised. Unless you let people see each person's vote.
Oh, you can.
Can you?
You can go to the individual review.
Oh.
Right? That's where you have reviews that are completely contradictory to basically what the rating is.
Well, then wouldn't some dudes just be voting yes on every single one because they're getting paid for each one?
There are guys that are like that, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, I think, well, I guess eventually, if you looked at it and cared enough, then it'd be like, at Blockbuster in the old days where you had your movie guys have their picks.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, all right, this guy actually is choosing good movies. I'm going to listen to this person on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
In which case, I think Rotten Tomatoes should make a bigger deal of that. Because then you get actual people going in to try and find their people that they want to listen to. And
right.
that'd be kind of cool.
But for them, the problem is that their setup doesn't work based on promoting the individual. Their setup only works on consensus.
Well, how does Rotten Tomatoes... it's just about advertising they put on their sites, isn't it?
Yeah, they're owned by... they're actually owned by one of those studios. I don't remember which one it is.
I would just do this as another way of getting more clicks. And like, yeah, you can... It's a thing that's out there. And here's a list of all the people. You can see their picks. And if you agree with their picks, cool. If not, well, you might be able to see why.
Well, the problem I have with this is anything that you're essentially going to use... Because, all right, it's completely fraudulent at that point. It's the same thing I said about the... it's the same thing I said about the Tim Donaghy NBA scandal, right? Once you expose that somebody is fudging the numbers, it throws everything into question.
But didn't people already kind of think the numbers were being fudged?
On there?
Yeah.
There was always suspicion.
Pretty strong. Because, I don't think there was a single person that would have been like, that I haven't talked to that was just like, how the hell did this score get this? And the people are like, here.
Look, I'm going to put this... There have always been movies like that. There have always been movies that are like huge hits with like the critics, and movies that are huge hits with like the fans. Because look, I'm going to put it to you this way. Like, so what's to date? Okay, well, to date, what is the top grossing movie of all time?
Avatar?
Yep.
Okay.
It got surpassed at one point.
By Titanic?
Nope. Because it came out after Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
But it got surpassed for a minute by Avengers Endgame. But they re-released Avatar in expectation of releasing the second one, and also raising capital for that. So it took its crown back. Now,
gotcha.
I'm going to point this out here. Like, if you look at actual critics' score of Avatar, right, they're not great. Because, when it comes down to it, all right, there's some pretty visuals and stuff like this. I would say that the first one's big success was it was the first 3D movie that didn't
Yeah.
look like shit,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
But in terms of actually, the story, it's like this is his cookie. This is
We've seen it before.
Dances with Wolves. This is
Ferngully.
Fern Gully. It's fucking The Last Samurai without the charm or the samurais, right? So the critics were like, "There's nothing new here except the visuals," right?
Yeah.
But the fans loved it. They loved it so much. Again, I hate to bring it back to the cake example, right? Even if the people vote that this cake was their favorite, this cake is gone, which means people kept coming back to eat more of it, right?
Yeah.
So people were seeing this movie over and over again, and they loved it, right? So the proof's in the money. But yeah, you'll see that like the critics were like, I've seen this movie. Like I hate these characters. I hate they're as flat as it gets. There's not whatever, right? But yeah, so you would always see that there's a discrepancy, and you'd also see like when we watched the Norseman, right? I loved it, right? You were just kind of like, when's it like?
This is terrible.
Right. So there's going to be a divide there on that kind of thing, right? But some of the things where you look and you say like, how can you guys have Black Panther 1 next to Toy Story?
Yeah, but if they made it so that I don't even know how many critics they have that comprise their list of people.
They have it broken into two. They have it into critics, and then they have a separate section for top critics.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I mean, like, if I went on there and I looked at, like, some of the critics and just was like, all right, this dude chooses the movies I like every time. Now I literally have a person that I can be like, all right, what did he grade this movie on? Cool.
But that's not how they make their money. That's not how they...
But why wouldn't you just add that?
Because it doesn't do anything for them as a site.
If they had to go there and then each critic had its own like thing that they could look at, you're still going to the site.
Well, no,
you're pulling up.
So if you see Tom Johnson or whatever, it's like, damn, this guy is batting a solid like 86% with me.
Yeah.
Right. You don't care what Rotten Tomatoes says. You just bookmark Tom Johnson's site.
But that's Tom Johnson through Rotten Tomatoes. Like his picks would only be on like Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but that's the thing is he wouldn't be a top critic, right? If he was working for the website. He's got everybody on there has basically got their own gig. That's where it's supposed to be separate. This is where if you actually have people, like I said, kicking the ball in the green, you've defeated the purpose of your site in general. And the whole thing, the only thing that makes your site worthwhile is the metadata.
Okay.
And if you're directing people away from your site to their individual stuff,
I don't know. There's got to be some way to connect it that they could both benefit from it, but I don't know.
well, to me, all right. So again, I have a certain amount of I expect a level of integrity from places like this. I shouldn't, right?
No.
Where, I would look at this and say, all right, you are not running this in good conscience. This is like, I would want people to go to jail for this shit. But that's not how this works.
Well, I think Mark Jackson should go to jail then. Because he left Nikola Jokic off of his MVP ballot altogether.
Why did he do that?
He forgot.
Okay.
Just like if he gets a vote again, like that's criminal. Like you should lose your vote when you do something so egregious.
Well,
like there's no way you forgot. You've been calling these games.
well, yeah.
It's impossible.
Well, who was the dipshit that was like, well, I don't want to vote for him because he's a white guy?
Well, I don't know if I heard somebody say that they did that way, but Kendrick Perkins brought up that he could be getting all the pub that just because he's a white guy.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that story, and
And it looked like Nikola Jokic was like, all right, then I won't play so hard. Here, we'll lose a few games. I don't really care. He's like, I'm not being racist here. I didn't know I was being racist. Like, I'm just playing basketball.
you're just playing basketball, man.
I'm doing the smart plays. Sorry.
Now, what I will tell you, William, is that when I had students that were overseas, I did have quite a few that did like the NBA. And uniformly, he was their favorite character, or his favorite character. Sorry, I was thinking movies there, because I was like, no, this is a real guy. Yeah, that's my fault. Yeah, they genuinely.
Well, that makes sense.
So, again, that's not. I'm not trying to draw certain lines or say anything in particular, but they were from Europe.
Yeah.
They were from Slavic or close to Slavic countries.
Well, I totally would expect it. Why wouldn't you?
I don't know, William. It's a tough thing. It's like,
That looks pretty clear as day to me.
no, it's like the same thing with like sports journalists, like the like they used to say, it's like you can do a lot of things, but you can't make the homer pick. Like, you're not supposed to.
If you're a fan, you can.
If you're a fan, but like if you're from Denver and they say like who's the best quarterback, right? You're not supposed to immediately say John Elway, right? Now the guy from Tampa could say John Elway, but if you're the guy working for the Denver Post, you're not supposed to say John Elway.
Yeah, but I'm guessing the people you've talked to over there are more fans than working for the NBA.
Oh no, they're definitely fans.
Yeah. So you're totally allowed to say,
Yeah.
the guy from my backyard is my favorite player.
Well, it's like I live in Colorado.
I'm gonna back Jokic.
This is one of the few NBA players I know right now, because I yeah, I can't tell you when I was into. God, I was super into the Nuggets there for a little. I can't remember what happened. But something broke my.
I can tell you, I'm not that into baseball anymore, and not know a bunch of those. Like, I did not know a single Giant.
Dude, I know
Ooh.
I know the roster of the Red Sox. That's it. And frankly, it's hard to watch those guys too, because I'm like, you guys play okay, but you and New York are holding up the bottom, and all those other three teams have fucking eliminated you. Like, so this is kind of rough, but yeah, I think it might have been when they got rid of George Karl. Because I always felt like that dude was like one step away, but he just kept getting dunked every first.
No.
Yeah, I was like, I think that was it, because I was remembering like all those years of the Nuggets going nowhere, and the fact that he'd actually managed to get talent on the team, and he was making a playoff team and everything like that. I'm like, how do you get rid of somebody like that? But ultimately, I mean, he was in a holding pattern. So
I don't think he really. I mean, he did good. I liked him as a coach and all that, but
I like the teams he put together too.
It was mellow, man.
Well,
He got mellow, and then it changed everything.
Well, that, and I mean, he was getting other guys. I mean, like the Allen Iverson years and stuff like that. I was like, this is a fun team to watch. Yeah.
But if Melo wasn't here, AI wasn't coming here.
Well, no. Who was that? God, who was that guy? That horrible contract we had.
Millsap?
Yes.
The first contract was fine, but adding them another 3 years at 30 million per.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
That's a mega deal.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's like, you can do better, guys. Like 30 mil's a lot. You should be able to swing somebody.
Well, 30 mil should get you more player than this. Yeah. No, that's right. And it's again, it's so hard sometimes when you step out and you don't know anybody that when you come back in, like when you're at the Rockies game yesterday, how it's got to be rough to like find somebody to latch onto and just say like, because for years it's like, oh yeah, I know Todd Helton, I know Arenado, I know.
It's just that they don't even have, like, I don't know, but it doesn't even look like they got new guys that are fun and exciting, like a Tulo that's just coming up.
Yeah.
It's like, there's some guy. Hey, there's Brendan Rodgers, who was like our number one prospect, and he like sucks. It's like, dude, all your number one pick, like, and it was okay. So they had the number one pick that got drafted this year at the game, and they put him up on the board. And like, oh, he's here, and he waves the crowd and all this kind of stuff. And I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, okay, there he is. I can see him in the one of the box kind of things areas. And he's like sitting by himself.
Why?
I don't know. Like they were just like talking to him, and then he walks away, and he's just like sitting, and it's like a whole like a section with like 20 seats, and he's just like there. And I was like, where's his friends? Where's his family? What is going on? And then finally, like, one person comes next to him and is like chat, and like is a seat away, so it's like not even sitting right next to him. And they kind of start talking a little bit. And I'm like, what? Where's this dude's people?
Yeah, this is weird.
He's the number one pick for this team, and like, you got nobody here that's just like hanging with him. It was weird.
I mean, it begs questions. Obviously, I don't know enough to make a solid verdict, but yeah, it's just. God damn it! I don't want to roll it around to the Rockies again. It's depressing. No, it is depressing, man. It's just like. It's just a chunk of our lives where it's like, I gave you guys so many chances, so many.
But it was fun.
But it was
then.
fun.
It was fun. Now I'm like, nah. Maybe once you guys start telling, like, I see that you guys are good, maybe I'll jump back on. But till then, like, Nikki even looked up what prices were for like season
Premium
tickets.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, I am not giving these guys my money.
How much were season tickets?
It was gonna be where we were sitting. It would have been $44 per ticket.
Where were you sitting?
Like halfway up, like a little bit inside first base.
Oh, okay.
Like halfway on that bottom level. So those good seats. There were lots of foul balls and stuff, and the guys throw the balls over the fence and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I got spoiled, because my friend's dad, he had the seats like fifth row up, right behind the batter's box, right, like the TV seats, because the Schmidt Construction had those, and so we could go anytime that people didn't want to go, and a lot of times people didn't want to go.
There'd be a lot of times people wouldn't want to go now. I think. Maybe.
Yeah, but, well, the sad thing is at this point we'd be like, do you want to drive? I don't want to go. I don't drive.
Yeah.
No, I gotcha. Fucking Rockies. All right, this is making me sad. All right. Any final thoughts you want to close out with here, buddy?
Well, it's only week 2. There's always hope.
Yeah, because I just checked. The Patriots lost 2, but it looks like they kept it close. So
still 0-2.
Yeah, and fucking Buffalo just won by 1,000,000. So I have my concerns.
Yeah, and we just lost to the Raiders.
I'm just gonna stop. This is problems all over. So that's William, of course. I'm Jeffrey. Have a wonderful week, guys.